And most importantly, I wanted to tell you guys, welcome to the Broski Duels podcast, the best podcast in all of the land. Is your boy Kiko Flo, Kiko Cervantes, Chef Maurice with his new light directly from San Francisco, the land of the brave, the free. I mean, they're free because you can sleep anywhere there, in any sidewalk. So, I find that to be the truest freedom, and I can take any sort of psychedelics I want. So, I mean, that's the type of freedom that I like, and that's the one that I support. For the next 10 minutes, we're going to try not to say any words that are inappropriate so that we're not age restricted or just flagged in any way. And hopefully, this video can make it to more people.
Do you think one of our last videos that got flagged, do you think somebody flagged us?
I don't know if it was an automatic thing or if somebody did.
Do you think some asshole was like, oh, they're talking about blah, blah, blah.
I think the fact that you just said asshole, that could get us flagged.
Damn.
So you just screwed it up 2 minutes in.
Fuck. No bad words. No bad
All right,
words.
let's see if we can fix it. Look, I'll try. Travel baseball. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the world of travel baseball. People have heard us in the podcast before talk about baseball in general. We're not like the biggest baseball fans, but we do like the sport and we like the little details that happen within it. There's a lot of lore behind the world of baseball. And one of the things that I've listened to recently in some YouTube videos is that there's this attitude against what is called travel baseball, and in this you can also include travel soccer, for example. And you might ask, I mean, that kind of, I think what that, I think I know what that means, but maybe you don't. I didn't. What that means is these are leagues of kids that play baseball or soccer, but that they travel, right? So they play in these leagues where you play different, places around the U.S. And what ends up happening, from what I hear, and I wanted to ask you about this too, is that these leagues end up sort of just having people with a lot of money that are able to pay for the traveling. So these leagues end up with players that are good, but only within a certain group of people because not everybody has the chance to play. Back in the day, when I was a little kid, I played in baseball leagues and soccer leagues. They were regional, and the way that it worked is that you would first play regional, and then if you got better and better, then you can go to nationals, etc. And then you will need to travel eventually if you're that good. But otherwise, you will play in your region. Apparently, that might still exist, but there's also this league that's called travel baseball, where you start playing teams from everywhere in the world right away. Well, not everywhere in the world, everywhere in the U.S. right away. And because of this, it excludes a lot of people that don't have the financial, possibilities to put their kids into this. And, the conclusion is the kids that are in travel baseball, they're not the best baseball players because in reality, that's not the pool of everybody. That's just the pool of kids that have money. Did you know about this, and what are your thoughts?
I actually found out about this, what you're saying, not long ago. One of my family members, I'd rather not say names,
That's
but
fine.
anyways, one of my family members kind of runs a soccer thing. I don't know the exact name.
A league or
It's like a league, yeah,
okay.
and it's in South Florida. And my understanding is that they also have some traveling teams from that league, and there's people with a lot of money that actually, like you said, pays for the traveling. And she was telling me one story where the team was going to travel, and this person was only going to take half the team on his private plane. The other half had to like find the way to get there. And this family member is like, well, you can't do that. You can't just exclude certain people just because. But it feels like a league with for the rich people, for the people with money, for the people who can afford it. I know I couldn't afford it. Maybe that's why it never became what I wanted to be, what I
Yeah,
really wanted to
it's
be.
your parents' fault. That's what I would say.
Yeah, yeah. It's our parents. Yeah.
We could have been pros.
I could have been a baseball player, Mom. It's your fault. Did you? I wanted to change it a little bit. Did you ever blame your parents for not putting you in what you really wanted to do? Or did you ever not bring it up to your parents because maybe the situation wasn't the best at the moment and you're like, damn, I really want to be part of the baseball team, but it costs $1,000 a month, and I can't afford that
I
right
mean, I
now.
remember that my parents put me in baseball, in the baseball leagues around the house, and I played there. And I mean, they weren't necessarily like the most attentive parents in the sense of like being in every practice and every game. But I mean, it's not something that I'm
That didn't
traumatized
fuck
for.
you up.
Yeah, it didn't fuck me up. I mean, I'm grateful that they paid for me to be in those teams. I mean, they will give you a
Right.
shitty uniform, and it wasn't that expensive. But no, I don't feel like because of them I didn't. I think it was because of me. I'll be honest with you. I just don't think I was that good of an athlete. I mean, this is not a revelation for anyone, but I wasn't a good athlete. Enough good athlete to like try to aim for something higher. I think if I would have been good enough, I probably would have climbed the ladders. But I didn't even know there was an option of travel baseball. And I mean, and I wanted to ask you, is this even because I mean, I'm not trying to just like cater to the people that don't have the resources. I'm really trying to find out what's the most logical way to organize this. Isn't this travel baseball thing like to me it doesn't make sense because the way that I looked at it, the way that I thought it always worked, because I only found out about this recently, is that you play regionally, right? So, for example, where we lived in Pembroke Pines, Miramar, in Florida, you would play around the teams there. And if you won, then you would go to the fucking, the bigger area. And then if you won, you would go for state champions. And then if you won, I guess you would play, with the fucking national championship, whatever. Isn't that, I mean, that's how it works, right?
Right. Right.
And to me, that makes it easier to organize, cheaper to organize, and then you only travel when you need to. I guess the only advantage to the travel baseball will be that you get to play with teams in other regions far from you, sooner, right? So you get to learn from like you might never have played with a team in Ohio unless you got to the national championship, and this way you can start playing with other teams and learn from that. I mean, I get that, but they even apply this to like the World Cup. They try to make it so that the teams have to travel less because that's a big expense. So they set up the scheduling and the games in the way that's more efficient for them. So I mean, don't you think that it's also more logical to just do it regionally first and then you branch out?
It does make sense. It does make it, like you said, cheaper for the families. And then you could only, if you had games, because I believe most of the games are on the weekends. So it would give you, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to kind of go up to, I don't know, Tallahassee, and then come back down to Miramar where we lived. Um, yeah, it kind of makes sense. Regionally, kind of makes sense, and then kind of work your way up, right? And that way you can compete against the best, also showing that you're the best from your region. Um, I think the little leagues, the baseball little leagues in the United States kind of work like you said. Uh, they start qualification for the World Series for kids in their own regions, and then at the end, once they make it, they kind of represent that area. So they're like Southwest, and then it's a team from I don't know Nevada, or Southeast, and it's from Georgia. So it kind of does make sense that way.
Yeah,
And
I think so.
the travel, it makes it easier. The kids just have to miss school. Parents can go during the weekend and not miss work. So it kind of, it does make sense.
And I mean, it is crazy to think that even like not talking about travel baseball, but just regional little leagues. The fact that you still have to take your kid on the weekend to some place and pretty much be there the whole day, bring refreshments, I mean, and depending on how hands-on you are, you're gonna like that's crazy. Like that's the sacrifice parents do. Instead of me doing the shit I like to do on the weekend, I'm gonna see you play shitty baseball.
Priorities change, man.
It's crazy, right? And you know what's crazy? And I'll feel this when I'm there. I'll be fucking enjoying the shit out of it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
fuck, this is so crazy. He's hitting it. He's going.
Well, we are still a long way to go. Even though my kid is in a soccer team now, it's not like actual soccer. It's just like more exercising, and then there's like a soccer ball that they can kick. So once they get to the league, like you said, it's gonna be shitty. But you're gonna enjoy the shit out of it because it's your son or your daughter who's gonna be. Uh, but you can't be an asshole. You can't be an asshole dad. You can't be like shouting at the ref, bro. They're fucking five. Chill.
Yeah, if you're screaming at the ref and your kid is under 12, you need to calm your titties.
I think anywhere, if you're not professional or looking to get into that level of professionalism, your parents shouldn't shout at the fucking
No, no,
ref.
I know. I'm saying it's even worse if the kid is mad
But
young, right? Because like,
right, if he's 6, 5, 6, it looks shitty. If it's 12, you start understanding. Like,
like
come
if
on.
if your kid is 6, 7, and you're screaming at the ref, "Are you blind?" You got, you might need to stop betting on everything that you see.
I've seen videos of parents who just like go nuts at the umpires or the referees, and it's very cringy. It's like, dude, they're only kids. They're gonna make mistakes. They're just learning. Um, some of them are funny. I don't know if you've seen the ones that like parents start fighting the umpires
I
because
haven't.
they miss a call or they didn't want to call a strikeout or whatever. So they start fighting, like fist fighting, and those are funny, fucked up, but still funny. Um, I don't know, when I was a kid and played in leagues like that. Yeah, I don't remember parents being assholes like that.
I remember when I played little leagues, I had just arrived to the U.S., so it was actually also a great place to kind of learn English, but in a passive way, because baseball is an international sport. So if you know the rules, you can just play. You don't need to speak. But then, I would start learning little by little by with the words. And there was one kid from Cuban descent. His dad was there with a cooler, a seat, like all the accessories. He was there in every practice and in every game. He would scream at the kids, scream at the ump, scream at the coach. And I remember as I gazed at this scenery, knowing my parents, hadn't come to a game in ever, I just thought to myself, I'm so happy my parents are who they are, because I much rather have, parents that are just like, hey, do whatever you want, like than this very what's the word, like just overachiever dads, right? Like they never accomplish their dreams and they want to accomplish them through you. And then now
Right.
you become like the peas that they're moving along. And I tell you, the kid never even liked playing baseball.
Mm. I can imagine the guy being like in the chair, like, "Hey, Lazarito,
Yeah, he was a Cuban.
swing at that."
He was super Cuban dad.
Yeah. Oye, Lazarito,
Oye,
you gotta
Lazaredo,
swing at that ball.
pero si tú no le, hey, if you don't hit that ball like I tell you, I'm gonna take you back to Cuba. He would tell him that thing, and I'll be like, damn, that's a little harsh for a 12-year-old, you know. I mean, that's fucked.
I
But he was that type of guy. I mean, I guess 10 points for effort, but
Yeah, A for effort.
but F for you know reading the room. You know what I mean?
Well, now that the Olympics are going, I think that the youngest athlete is, I don't know, like 11.
Whoa,
She's
chill,
from
bro.
Thailand.
Okay,
No,
okay.
no, no. She's from Thailand, and I think she's a skateboarder.
Oh shit.
So I think so. But it makes you think, like, I look at my kid, I'm like, all right, you're not too young to start getting to that point. But I don't want to be that,
Well,
though.
the thing is, once you start getting into the Asian culture, then it gets really sad for you because then you start realizing, oh, okay, like, yeah, we couldn't compare. When you see a 7-year-old play the guitar better than a Spanish master, and then you look at his eyes, you're like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, have you ever seen this show where parents are like taking their baby girls to like pageants?
Oh yeah,
Like I
horrible.
think it's like toddlers and tiaras. I don't know if that show's still on,
Bro, that shit is inappropriate as fuck. If not borderline, like, I don't want to say the word because YouTube doesn't like it. But
but it's super toxic. that environment is toxic. It's not healthy for a kid. But you see that certain kids kind of enjoy the atmosphere, and I don't know. It also it's very weird to see girls that are 5, 6, 7 needing to do like a bathing suit set for the judges. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
No, it's completely sick.
And
I
some parents kind of like enjoy that as well. It
Yeah.
makes it
Bro,
crazier.
you give a kid that hasn't developed the skills to to walk through life and know what's going on, and you give them this fake attention, right? This synthetic attention. They're gonna be entitled the rest of their life. They're gonna think shit is owed to them because they had this little beauty when they, like whatever the fuck like. Because you gotta think about it. Beauty is not a virtue, right? It's a benefit. It's a privilege, right? Like being pretty is a privilege, but it's not a virtue. Like you don't work on being pretty. I mean, I guess you could work on being skinny and like being fit, but if you're born with the face that you got, that's your face. You feel me? Like whatever face I got, whatever you want to put it in the number scale, like I accept that. Like I live with that face. Like I'm good. So what I'm trying to say is that if you give a kid the idea that their face that they were born with, that they didn't choose, gives them some sort of privilege, then they're gonna be entitled for the rest of their life. You wanna teach them things that like sports do, that allow them to know that your merit is what matters, and that's what a meritocracy comes from. It's from individuals following their path and having merit because they work for things. So yeah, I mean those beauty pageants are horrible, and in general, I think the whole modeling industry. Although I've seen some new like pageants now where they have some thicker girls, not fat, just thicker, and more like Victoria's Secret style. I think that could have a comeback. I never understood why the models were like when they were very like bulimic. Never understood that. The whole like Kate Moss, for example, is that like one of them from
Like the super skinny,
yeah,
like ribs
bony,
showing.
bony,
Right.
yeah, nah. But for a while, that was like the look. That was the
Well,
meta.
one thing I wanted to bring up in today's episode was
Please do.
you brought you brought in this like the fitness and being so thin and the other hand I was gonna bring up like all you can eat places. What do you think about places that have an all you can eat system?
A buffet, or
Basically, yeah.
okay. Well, although all you can eat, I guess you could also include these type of restaurants that are not exactly a buffet, but you can keep ordering and they bring you meat or whatever to the table, which I prefer in any case. I mean, I've said this before and I'll say it again and I'll continue to say this. All you can eat buffet places, riff raff. I'm not going to those again.
What changed?
What changed? Let's see. I don't know. I just got smarter and I started looking at, you know what? I mean, what happened in 2020 because of a bat. And,
Oh, okay.
okay,
Yeah.
I don't want to say the word because I don't know what YouTube likes or doesn't like. Reference
Now we're fucked.
reference the last episode, which they fucking put all these warnings for. Back then, when we had that little crisis going on in the world, when we went back to doing things, I would see that they would put like a lot of covers in like the buffets, and you had to go with a mask. And then I remember, fuck, before the mask and all this was just like people spitting on the food. Like, there's no cover between the food and me. The food is sitting there for a while, and you're a chef, so I know that you know about these stuff, like the temperatures. And to me, it's like, for you to make money out of this, you need to put out a lot of low quality food that's gonna be in a low quality state. So yeah, I mean, unless it's a very fancy hotel that has a buffet for breakfast, I could do a breakfast buffet. That's the most I could do. Like, for example, my girl, she's been wanting to go on a cruise. I don't like cruises, but we might have to go to a cruise, and that's the way that I paint it. We might have to go on a cruise in the next, near in the future. And if there's like a buffet for breakfast, I prefer that because then I can grab the things I like. But I could only do like a breakfast buffet, the most, and it's not even ideal. I prefer a Denny's or an IHOP. And anything else, like just like for lunch or dinner buffet, yeah, forget about it. Like I'm not doing that. Um, is that what is your take?
I used to be very into it in our early childhood, early 20s. The childhood. As a youngster. I used to be into it because you think, all right, with $20, I can eat for 4 hours everything I want. But then I started understanding that all that food is not the best. And like I said, it has been sitting out for hours. Just imagine like raw shrimp just been, sitting there for, let's say 2 hours. You might get something. There used to be a very good, I don't know if you lived in Pembroke Pines long enough to be there. I don't remember the name, but it was like an Asian all you can eat buffet. And then they had like crab legs and sushi rolls and fried, like everything Asian. And it was good until you kind of realize that you're not gonna eat like a crazy maniac. Like you're not gonna eat this crazy amount of food to kind of sustain this, the price to food amount. And there's other places like the ones that you were saying, the Brazilian places, um, where they charge you a little bit more, maybe $50, and they give you all the meat that you want, but they also try to stuff you with, like the bread rolls or the salads or whatever. And then you get fuller getting salad and rice and
Yeah,
corn.
and that's one of my main problems. All of these places that allow you to all you can eat, they always have a little scheme.
Right.
Some of it is like with the drinks. Some of it is with like, oh, look at all these sides. Like I've gone to like this Argentinian churrascaria where you get all you can eat meat, but then they try to bring you, like you said, mashed potatoes, this and that, and it's like, I've come to realize that if you just pay for what you want, that's gonna be the best experience instead of you paying for something that you're gonna try to get more out of, because they already studied this shit. Like I saw a video on Instagram of like a place where as soon as they threw the new crabs, the new crab legs, everyone took them. It seemed like a very ghetto place where like as soon as the food was put, everybody just took a bunch. And it's like when I'm going to eat, I don't want to have any riff-raff experience like that. And it has nothing to do with like, oh, so you think you're in a place. No, motherfucker, I'm broke as hell. I'm unemployed. But it's not about that. It's about, you know what I mean? It's not about how rich you are. It's just about like the experience you want to have. Like I like good experiences. If I'm going to spend money, I want it to be a good experience. Otherwise, I can make some fire food at my house myself.
Now, what's your take on all you can eat place like this, the ones that we're talking about, and then maybe something like a high-end restaurant where you have 15, 16, 17 courses, smaller bites, but you have like a big amount of food coming your way, and most times than none, it's super expensive.
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking about like, yeah, if you talk about a course menu, for people that don't know about this world that Chef Maurice lives in, the Michelin, stars restaurant, where you pay like $300 and they bring you 17 little plates. I mean, obviously, when you cannot compare, right? We're talking about a buffet or all you can eat, where that's what you're going for. You're trying to get the most for your buck, and the other stuff is just luxury. Now, let me give you a middle ground. Okay, you're like, hey, Bekiko, I get it. You have all these rants, you have all these things that you don't like, but I barely see you come up with a solution. Okay? You came here from immigrant parents, you're an immigrant yourself, and you build up little by little knowledge, skills. So come up with a solution. Give me some sort of game plan that we can implement. Okay, I got you. A few years back, I went to Tenerife. It wasn't Christmas.
Tenerife.
Yeah, and if you go in Christmas, you escape the Spanish winter, and you go to Tenerife, which is in the same height as Africa. So nice weather, etc. And we stayed at a Hard Rock hotel. It was actually kind of old, but they still kept the standard, the quality, it was clean, all this. And they had a buffet included for the morning, the breakfast. And I gotta say, this was very decent. Now, when you say, oh, Kiko, but you just say decent, it wasn't great, I don't think any buffet is great.
Mm.
If I say a buffet is decent, that's 5 stars right there. What's decent? Like it's clean, it's hygienic. Now let me give you a little thing you can have that's gonna make it a lot better. When you're in the buffet, not only is there the food that you can just grab from a container, there's actually little spots where you can ask a guy to make you an omelette.
Mm.
Hey, can you make me a pasta with this and that? Can you make me a French toast with this and that? Can you make me an omelette? Hey, I want this steak, medium rare. Now we raise the notch a bit. Now the quality has improved. Can you still call that a buffet? I don't know. It's still all you can eat. But now I have the option of you making it fresh for me at the moment. And that little mix, if you add that to it, now we're talking. Now I'm liking the place. So in this little hotel that we stayed at, every morning, we had our nice little breakfast. They made our little omelet for us the way that we liked it. The guy that made it was Venezuelan. We became friends. It was this whole thing. It was a nice experience.
What about a bar? Let's put up a bar. All you can drink. Would we make any money out of that?
Okay, this is actually great because I was thinking about this the other day. All you can drink, not a good thing. Because what? I mean, as a business, maybe. But as a consumer, most of the time, if it's all you can drink, it's going to be shit liquor.
Right.
And you also got to think about this. If it's all you can drink, is it a bunch of people and very small amount of bars that you can access this liquor at? Because what happens often is that if you already paid for it, wink, wink, you haven't, then the service now is shit. Maybe it takes a long ass time to get a drink. And as you get older, you and me are in our mid-30s, there's this thing that happens where, okay, let's say you have unlimited drinks. Can you really drink 15 drinks in one day at this age now? With that face you got? Sleepy face at 1 in the afternoon? Like, I mean, really, these days, a good day, I mean, today has been a good day. I don't want to show what I got here, but, I mean, today is not a good example because I actually been drinking since like 1 p.m. But on a good day, maybe you have 5, 6 drinks if you're a little champ. So, yeah, all you can drink, not for me.
Maybe not.
I heard it because recently we're talking about the cruise thing, and in the cruise they offer you the all you can drink. But for the price, it's like, nah, I don't.
Well, think about it, because in the cruise you're going to be there, 3, 4, 5 days, and then you'll have unlimited drinks throughout those days. I don't know how much it cost. Maybe let's say $200 more.
Yeah, I think it's like 150, 200 more. Yeah. Per
Okay.
day.
Then look at how much drinks cost now if you go to a bar. At least in the US, drinks are like 12, 15, 17.
All right, I will say this. If you are going to an all-inclusive, if you're a beer guy, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Because any beer will do, right?
Right.
I mean, not ideally, but I'm saying it'll do.
It'll do the trick.
Now, if you're trying to get some liquors in you, if you're trying to get some spirits, the all you can drink is going to give you low class. And I don't know about you, but when I'm drinking liquor, I want to have at least 12 years in the cask. That's just me, though.
Okay.
That's just me.
Yeah.
If it has a Japanese name, even better.
So instead of some natty ice, you'll be open to drinking the natty ice.
I mean, if you have natty ice on your all you can drink, you're a fucking piece of shit. But yeah, I mean, I'll drink it.
Those were the good days,
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, okay, let's say, like, what's a shitty? I mean, I don't want to say any shitty beer, and then we can get our sponsor. I don't know, like, but like, I don't know, like, whatever the fuck, Budweiser, like, I'll have it, I mean, I prefer a Stella, a Corona.
Right.
I mean, I'll even do a Heineken. I'm not like one of those, can I have an IPA? No, bro, I'm not trying to shit in the next 30 minutes. By the way, talk about little beers here. IPAs, I don't see what's the thing. Are they dying already? Like, are they about to, like,
If it dies, it'll die anywhere but in San Francisco.
Oh, they love it there.
They fucking love it here. I'm not for it. I fucking hate it.
And it's always like, oh, this one is made with like citrus from a tree in Thailand, and then you drink it, and it's like, I don't know if this is a juice, a beer, or like a fucking fermented cat. I don't know what the fuck is this. I hate it. And then I go to these IPA places, not because I want to, but because, okay, my friends are meeting there. And then I ask them for a very simple beer, like, oh, can I just have the Stella Artois? And they look at me like I'm a little bitch because I just ordered the most basic beer. Because I didn't want their fucking pancake mix IPA, bro. Get the fuck out of my face, son. That's disgusting. You guys are making this shit in the bathroom? In the bathtub, you sick motherfucker?
Yeah, it seems like it's a big culture here in San Francisco,
The IPAs.
the IPAs, and in the restaurant business. If you go eat at a restaurant and you're from the industry, the least you can do is like bring some beers for the people in the kitchen. And this place I used to work at before, everybody who worked in the industry, they would always bring the fucking IPAs, and I wasn't able to drink that. One,
Yeah.
because I didn't like it, and two, is because it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah. It's disgusting. I don't like it. Please stop the trend.
It's
You
like
guys.
the hazy IPAs. It's like fucking,
And
hey,
then they
drink
start
my.
explaining this one has a nutty flavor, but when it hits your tongue, then you have this little citrus coming in. And then you have this strawberry essence at the end. And then when it hits your lips, I'm already fucking you. What? What's happening here? What?
Now, what do you think about the bars or the breweries? So you go to a brewery that I don't know, Sierra Nevada Brewery, but they do 27 different IPAs, and you kind of want to try some good shit, but then you have to pay $15 or $20 for like the small glasses for sampling, and you drink that shit, and it's already fucked up. You're already fucked up. But what you went for there was like a nice blonde, very cold, foamy beer,
And then you
and
get these
then
weird ones.
strawberry chocolate, hoppy.
Hoppy, yeah. So it's always some hoppy shit. It's always some like hazy, some nutty, some like get the fuck out of here. I will tell you something. I recently went to not a brewery, but a beer house. It's like a bar that does a lot of beers from around the world. And some of the best beers are from Belgium and Europe. So they had a lot of Belgian, Czech, from Czech Republic. They do a lot of good beer. Germany. They did a lot of good beer. I mean, they still do since then, but like Belgium, for example, they're very good. So this place, one thing that they do, and I love it, and this is something that's very much Belgian beer in general. Breweries in Belgium not only make the beer, but they make the glass that you're gonna drink it out of, and they take it very seriously. Belgian breweries make a specific glass for each of their fucking beers. And some of the flasks, I mean, not enough flasks. Some of the glasses are very weird things, like a flask that looks like from an experiment. So in this place, we had different beers from Belgium, and they brought them in their specific glass, and each glass was fucking different and weird, and had this glass art in it. And to me, that's something that I love. If you're like a respectable brewery and you make good beer, I like to taste around your beers. If you're a fake brewery and you do IPAs, get the fuck out of my face. Like an actual Irish bar that sells real beer.
I think we need to start thinking about going to Oktoberfest maybe next year. I think even though we're, like I said, we're in our mid 30s, I think Oktoberfest might be a good place for us to spend a couple of days at.
Yeah, we could have a nice episode telling our experience.
We can even try to record from
Yeah.
because it's not only, I don't know if you've seen it, it's not only the tents, but it also is like a carnival.
Oh, okay.
So
I
they have
didn't know.
like games and rides and yeah, I've been privileged to been once,
Oh,
and
yeah?
it was a very good experience. Now the beers, 10 euros for a liter. I
Oh,
thought it was
shit.
a good price,
That's a good price.
and after one, maybe two, you're already like
Fucked.
talking with a different accent and
You
being
understanding
tougher.
German?
Right, right. I remember my experience there. I told him I was from Australia, and the girl who was also drunk, she's like, "But your accent sounds American." And I'm like, "No, I'm from Sydney." I don't fucking remember
And
where
you
I
were just
said.
lying.
Yeah, yeah.
You
And
were just fucking
she,
around.
yeah, I was just fucking around, and we became very good friends that night.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's one of them bucket list things to do, right? And am I right in thinking this is done normally in October? Right, it's Oktoberfest.
I think it's September.
This fucking a,
Fucking Germans.
fucking a, these guys. Okay, no, I mean that's a great idea. I think I'm down for it. Let's plan it out, and yeah, we'll talk about it on the podcast. Maybe do a little recording from there if we can. Get a little vlog going in the Oktoberfest. Berlin,
Damn.
Wandersex. And one thing that would be nice, right, if you go to one of these events, right, especially if it's outdoor, you go with a shirt that has no sleeves, and you want to look, you want to look a little nice. You want to look a little sexy, right? You want to look a little sexy. And to look sexy, you need to lose weight, be fit, do the training, follow the fucking rules from the coach. And one thing that I've been seeing now a lot on Instagram, I even seen a guy in Facebook. You know, like the friends in Facebook, you don't add new friends in Facebook. Like somebody sends me a friend request now, I'm not accepting it. Whoever's in my Facebook is already there, and nobody's leaving, nobody's adding. That's it. Facebook's been locked for 14 years. Nobody's being added or subtracted. Even if I don't like you, I will still look at the shit that you do throughout your whole fucking life. Okay? The abortions and all. Shit, I shouldn't have said that word. Okay. So, one of these things that I've been looking at is that people that are trying to lose weight, they hire a coach. That's normal. You've seen this. It's common. And what do these coaches do for you? Normally, they have an app that you sign up to. You send a monthly subscription fee, and they prepare for you a meal plan. That includes the amount of calories you're gonna be eating. It includes the amount of what they call the macros, which is how much protein, how much fat, how much carbohydrates from those calories. They give you an exercise routine. Very common. And then they have this support system. Hey, 24-hour chat. Whenever you feel weak, you write me. Hey, coach, I really want to stick a pizza out my esophagus. And then the coach is like, hey, guy, he calls you. He's like, hey, calm down, breathe. Breathe with me. All right. We don't have to do this, okay? And he sort of coaches the guy, right? So those are things, the main things. You give me a meal plan, you give me an exercise plan, and you support me. You motivate me. But what's another thing that they're adding now to these coaching mechanisms? A little incentive that involves money. So let's say I'm a coach, I got 20 motherfuckers that I'm training. 20 little fatties. 20 little fat dookies. And I tell them, because they all give me some sort of money monthly, this month, whoever loses the most calories, whatever, the most weight by percentage, you get the jackpot. $2,000, whatever the fuck it is. So now I'm seeing a lot of these groups having these big prize monies if you meet your goals, each month. I know that you in the past have been in the journey to lose weight at one point or another. Not that you need to lose weight now. You look beautiful and you're amazing. But I know that you know the process. Me too. For all my life, I've been trying to lose weight, sometimes gain weight, and most of the time lose weight. Do you think this incentive is enough? Do you think this is a smart way to do it? Do you think it would affect you if you had $2,000 to make at the end of the month if you did everything right?
I guess it depends what drives you, right? But I don't think it's a bad idea because you have something to look forward to. Motivates you to get that to that goal. I think the U.S. has done like a very good job of that, like money motivation to not only fat people, but to people in general, like doing all these game shows. And I do remember they used to have the Biggest Loser I don't know if
I
you
remember.
remember
Yeah.
it. And it was like a bunch of overweight people who went into this experience, and then by the end of it, they would lose all this weight. And I don't remember if they got money, but I'm pretty sure they would get paid because
Yeah, yeah, I do remember it was kind of like a challenge, and you would win prizes if you. Okay, yeah. So this is not completely new, but it is kind of a trend now for coaches. I mean, and I can understand. My cousin, he's a training coach. He's the one that trains me, and please don't think by my looks that he's a bad coach. He's doing the best he can with what he's got. It is hard to coach me. But I told him about this. I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? Like, maybe you can use it with some of your clients, and they can. And he's like, yeah, I mean, it's interesting because at the end of the day, you don't know what's gonna trigger each person to accomplish their goals. Some people, it's shame, right? You hire a coach. Let's say you have a lot of money. I've always said this. One of the best ways that you can, you know, get fit that I think would work the best for a lot of people is if you have a lot of money, you train a guy that comes to your house, whatever it is, 4 or 5 times a week. He comes and he literally wakes you up if you're not awake. And he's like, let's go work out. And obviously this motherfucker's diesel, right? He looks, Henry Cavill type shit. So he comes and wakes you up and he's like, let's go, buddy, let's go work out. A lot of people would have shame of telling him, no, I'm just gonna go to sleep. Like he's already there. He's at your house. And this motherfucker looking fine as fuck. You're not gonna get up and do this shit. You have to. Otherwise, you're a piece of shit. So shame is a big factor. Money is also a factor. You pay a monthly subscription to a gym. If you don't go, you feel bad because you're losing money. But is that enough? How many people do we know and ourselves? You've signed up to a gym, you lose that money monthly, and you still don't go. Shit. You have people that go and do a medical exam and things aren't looking perfect, and you still eat shit. I've been there.
same.
So motivation is a very abstract thing, and you don't know what's gonna trigger each person. So what I say is, whatever you think might work for you, fucking do it. Sometimes what works, having a little workout buddy. And every morning you guys have to make a run. And if you don't fucking do it, you're failing your body, and now you're ashamed because you're a fucking loser.
Does it make it better if it's your partner rather than a friend?
I think that with your when you say partner, like the person that
Your significant other?
your significant other, yeah. The problem with that one is that you know how to trick each other already.
Yeah.
You need somebody that's a little more outside of your life so that you're ashamed of it. Because you can always sort of justify with the person you live with, the person you love, that, you can always be like, I mean, I'm not saying this is for everybody. Maybe I'm just talking about my experience. But that's how I feel it is with my girlfriend. It's like, I mean, we do push each other, but I don't think it has to be an external person that you're ashamed of if you were to not do the things you got to do. So that's one way to do it. Like, but I don't know. I mean, like this weight losing challenge with money. Like, I mean, if the stakes are high, then I mean, like you could do it with friends. You can grab 10 friends, and each of you puts $100 a month. And then at the end of the month, whoever loses the most weight gets 1,000.
I mean, it doesn't sound bad.
And you can do it progressively, right? Like obviously, the one that's really fat, he's gonna have it easier to lose more weight than others. So you gotta, standardize it in a way so that it's proportional to your own weight at the time, whatever it is. I mean, there's ways to do it, like percentages or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, I just threw this out there. I was like, hey, I saw this. I'm like, hey, this could be a thing, This could be a way for people to get motivated, Especially if you're broke. This is a great thing to do. You got a little bag of people. You're betting on yourself. Like, that's literally what you're doing.
Betting on yourself. And the Biggest Loser, it seems like the prize for the winner was $250,000. And the record of most weight loss was like 200 pounds, 260 pounds.
Damn.
And yeah, I mean, let's say in one season, one person, like the one who lost the most was 100 pounds, but then another season was 260 pounds. But at the end, they both get the same amount of money. Interesting. But I mean, um, yeah, it has to be there. And like you said, you're betting on yourself. And if you're doing it, most of the people don't have the chance to do it in a big stage, like in a TV show, where you have to be chosen for that. And it seems more complicated to get into that. Yeah, your the biggest prize is going to be $250,000, which is a lot, but in a smaller scale or more realistic way, you can do it, like I said, with your friends, uh, maybe coworkers. I don't know how you want to mix that in with somebody you work with, but yeah, I think friends could be a very good motivator to help you with that, like
Yeah, I
exercise,
think
lose
having
weight.
other people to be accountable to helps. And so yeah, I think the money part is interesting. Let's see what I can come up with. Maybe we have a little group. We put in a certain amount of money. My only problem with the money thing is that it has to be a lot. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like it has to be a lot for people to really
Right.
like.
Because
If it's just
maybe
for
$10
fun,
is
yeah, $10 is not enough. Like
yeah.
$10, and then between us, oh, we get $50 a month. Yeah, people are gonna be like, fuck it. Like it has to be. You know what? It has to be money from an external source. Like it cannot be from us putting the money in. It has to be like a crazy millionaire. It's like, hey guys, I'm gonna give you $1 million if you lose. Because like, I mean, think about that. Like, let's say, like me, I've been trying to lose weight for many years, and then I lose a little bit, I come back up. If somebody was to tell me, look, I'll give you $1 million if in the next 6 months you do things perfect. I don't know. I mean, I cannot say for certain that I will do it correctly, but I have a feeling that I'll be fucking very motivated.
Mhm.
Maybe I will do it. So I don't know. I mean, that says a lot about the mindset and how we get incentivized for things in life. Sometimes it's not just the money. Sometimes there's something deeper. Sometimes people are told you need to change this or you're gonna die, and they still don't change it. So incentives are a delicate and complex thing that I think is not as easy to, I guess, to define or to to know how to work with it. I think incentives work a little different for different people. Different things might trigger different people. So,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
anyway,
and yeah, no, you see it in people like with family members who have passed away of heart disease or whatever, you know,
diabetes or
weight related. So it makes you think. It makes you like put things into perspective. You're like, all right, this person passed away because he was not eating right, not exercising, not doing the correct things. Does that click on you to make the change now rather than later? Um, that could be, I think that's one of the biggest motivators in people, like seeing somebody close to you not being there and going, that person went through what you're going through. It does motivate you to want to change.
yeah, like very tragic scenarios in life might make you change. You know what's one that I remember from back in high school that we used to see when a girl or a guy, but it was a lot of times it was a girl, was left by their significant other, and then they got really depressed and sad, and then they took the whole summer to get really skinny. So sadness can be the motivator, right?
Could also be like, once you go back to school, you know,
Right.
Richie's going to be looking at you.
Yeah.
And then Sammy, Samantha, it's like hot and cute.
Right.
And
Hey
you're
Richie,
like,
I've
damn.
grown and now I got big boobs. Fuck you. Yeah, that's a classic. That's a classic. So I mean, I find it interesting that there's different things that you can use to. I mean, even grief, right? Somebody might lose somebody, and even if that person didn't die for anything that has to do with being overweight,
Right.
maybe just the grief. You're like, hey, maybe I'll change things in my life now. You know. One thing that I like to think of when I'm trying to like work out and eat well, and it's hard for me to do it, I think, imagine.
Sad stuff.
I try to think that somebody died. Okay. Like, no, I think, okay, look, imagine the type of situation some people might be in a part of the world where things are very hard, right? They might not even be able to get food, right? They might not even be able to like learn anything that day because their life is so hard. And here I'm complaining about eating when I have the possibility of eating protein every day, healthy foods, and I'm not doing it. So I try to compare myself to somebody that's going through a lot more difficult situation, and try to sort of shame myself into like, hey, what you're calling hard is what somebody would wish they had. Like enough for them to buy protein and buy and eat protein every day. That's something like if you look at movies that talk about like apocalyptic worlds and shit, the thing that's always scarce is protein. And like back in the caveman days, protein is very needed in the human to have physical strength, to have mental capacity. So I mean, I'm going a little bit technical here and annoying, but I'm just trying to say, like, yeah, just think of like a harder situation and then shame yourself into, hey, you think this is hard, bro? This is like super easy. Just eat well and do the exercise. It's simple, but it's hard to follow, right? It's hard to get your mindset in that place. So I don't know. Maybe this little lottery winning strategies might help people lose weight. Maybe make a little challenge with your homies at home. Hey, bro. Hey. Oh, we want to play a game. The rules are simple. You need to lose 15 pounds by the end of the week. I mean, that wouldn't be the challenge, but whatever it is, and the scale doesn't lie. That's one thing you can cheat.
Do you, when you try to do the losing weight regime, do you set yourself, do you set big goals or like a bunch of small little goals? Because no, because I feel like if you set yourself with big goals, you're setting yourself for failure. You're not, if you don't reach it, then you're just gonna end up in a dark place, perhaps. Then setting a bunch of small goals, I want to lose 1 pound this week, just for an example. You get there, you're like, okay, what about 2 pounds? And then you work yourself up that way.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not an expert at achieving things in life. I'm still learning and doing things to make that happen in different areas. But one thing that I do feel is logical to think is that if you break it up into smaller steps, then it's easier. Like I told you, for example, I have like a list, right, that I have every day. Every night I fill up what's good, what I need to do next day. And if I have like any appointments that week that I need to be aware of, and yeah, I have like a goal every day of eating well and doing the exercises that I need to do. And my worry is just, okay, do this thing today. And then if you just worry for today, then the rest is just gonna happen. Somebody told me one time like a little saying, like a little quote, which was, when we try to lose weight or do anything that takes time and effort, we think of the whole thing and it becomes quite daunting. But again, I know it sounds cliche and it seems basic, but one day at a time, it's like when you just think about the goals you need to do that day, it's not that hard. So all you need to do is do that I know it sounds like logical, like, yeah, Kiko, we get it. But you get what I'm saying? Like, we always try to think, oh, I need to do this 3, 6 months, whatever it is. It's like, no, just worry about getting through the day. And then tomorrow you worry about getting through that day. And the next day you worry about getting through that day. Instead of thinking you need to get through months of this hard work, just get through today. That's all you need to do. And I think that has helped me when I'm in a situation where I feel like I'm gonna fail. I'm like, look, you already did the weights, you already did the running. Just finish eating well and go to sleep. And the next day I wake up and for some reason I feel like I have a lot more strength. to keep my will that new day. You got what I mean? Like, I almost feel like sometimes I need to have this willpower for 3 months, and I don't. I just need to make it through the day, because the next day I feel rejuvenated with new willpower to do that new day. So I guess that's my advice from somebody that doesn't really have the merits to give this advice. But anyways, that's what I think.
I mean, if you're judging by looks, we're not
right.
We're not meeting expectations right now.
Exactly. But that's why I say it with care, and I say it cautiously, so that people don't think I'm here trying to like lecture people about fitness. I'm just talking about what I have found to work for me when it has worked. So, but I'm open to advice. So please, if anybody has advice, don't come like a little dick about it. Like, just things that have helped you in your life. But don't come to me like, hey Kiko, by the way, like I train and I do this. Like, don't do that.
Eat carrots, bro.
Bro, did you even know carrots? Did you even know about carrots? You don't know, right? It doesn't seem like you know.
I feel like, at least for me, what could work is just like better or tastier food. Because I'm afraid that when you do some of this diets that come from like books or dietitians, like most of them are like boiled chicken.
Yeah.
And I'm not into boiled chicken. I mean, I'll have it, but not every day.
Yeah, it's not sustainable. What I recommend, use a lot of spices. Spices don't have calories. Some people talk shit about salt or whatever. I don't know, man. Look, salt, pepper, and whatever other fucking spices you like, put as much of that shit in the food as you want. If you're eating clean protein, vegetables, and a little bit of carbs, which I don't do on a constant basis, then you shouldn't have to worry about anything else. Like, it's just gonna work out. The thing is, it's hard to do that specifically, right? Like, doing that simple thing is hard, and that's why it's that's why you're proud when you achieve it, because it's a hard thing, and it's one of those hard things in life that people can see before they meet you, right? People don't know your flaws until they meet you, except your fitness. They can see that from meters away. So it is a particular type of flaw. But yeah, anyways, Chef Maurice, directly from San Francisco, last words to your audience.
Maybe if you want to lose weight, don't work in a restaurant.
Yeah, that's I say that from experience as well. Unless you work at a fucking, I don't know, vegan restaurant or some shit. But yeah.
Dude, now that I'm working in a new place, at the end of the night, we have like a bunch of sauces that we make daily. So we have some extra at the end of the night that we're just like eating. And then I'm like, damn, this shit is delicious. But the amount of fucking butter this shit has, it's not sustainable for myself. So I had to stop very quickly. On my second day of work, I'm like, nope, I can't keep doing this.
The amount of willpower you need to work at a restaurant and still eat clean, that takes another. I remember what took me from being a cute little 17-year-old to a chubby 23-year-old was working in restaurants and just eating a bunch of garlic bread and just chicken parmesans and shit.
And fuck up pizzas.
Yeah. All right, look, for the people that are fit, that listen to us, and they're like, hey, Kiko, I actually have a few tips that will help you and Chef Maurice as well, if he wants to get a little sexier. So please leave them in the comments. Again, subscribe to the thing. It really helps us. If you leave a review on Spotify or iTunes, you don't even know how much that helps us. And yeah, leave topics, questions you have, criticism, whatever the fuck you want in the comments. We'll take it and we'll read it.
We like to interact with you.
Yeah. We want that interaction. We want that connection. That real. Okay, Chef Maurice, keep it real, keep it gas, keep it cute.